Good morning and welcome to today's International Space Station Update Hour. You're looking now inside of the flight control room here in Houston, Texas, where the Orbit 2 team is currently on console, monitoring all of the systems on board the orbiting complex. Today's team is being led by Flight Director Ron Spencer, there in the center of your screen, and joining him at the console position is Capcom Hal Getzelman, serving as the voice link communication between controllers here on the ground and the astronauts in space. And those astronauts are the crew of Expedition 30, being led by NASA astronaut Dan Burbank there in the front left of your screen, and then behind him are Russian cosmonauts Anton Shkaplerov and Anatoly Ivanishin. Also across the back row are European Space Agency astronaut Andrei Kuipers, NASA astronaut Don Pettit, and finally in the front right, Russian cosmonaut Oleg Kononenko. A fairly maintenance-heavy day for the astronauts currently on board the station today, with many of the crew members taking up their day with some cleaning and replacement activities on many of the station's systems. Starting with Commander Burbank, who's working with Andrei Kuipers in the cabin fan assembly and ventilation ducts, continuing some work that started yesterday. In addition to assisting Kuipers with these activities, Commander Burbank will also be working on the atmosphere revitalization bacteria filters, cleaning those out in all of the U.S. modules, as well as taking a few samples in the Node 3 for eventual return to the ground. Russian cosmonaut Anton Shkaplerov is working on the TVIS system, or the Treadmill Vibration Isolation and Stabilization. He will be replacing one of the chassis on board. And then in addition to these activities, he'll be transferring some fluids into the Progress 46 water tanks and then flushing out some of the lines connecting those tanks. Fellow Russian cosmonaut Anatoly Ivanishin will be doing some dust filter change out in the Zvezda service module on the Russian segment, as well as collecting some air samples in both Zvezda and the Zarya modules. He'll also be doing some cargo transfer work from the Progress 46 spacecraft that docked, as well as doing the Signer experiment, which has the astronauts make ocean observations and help researchers on the ground investigate and find some of the most bioproductive water areas around the globe. The third Russian cosmonaut, Oleg Kononenko, started his day very early on with the Sprut-2 investigation, which helps to research the adaptation mechanisms of the human body and the impact of zero gravity on how well these astronauts stay hydrated. He'll also be doing some cleaning work, working on the fan screens in the Mini Research Module 1, or Rosviet, before moving on to replace some lights and light panel fuses across the Russian segment. European Space Agency astronaut Andrei Kuipers, as mentioned, is in day 2 of working on that cabin fan assembly and ventilation duct system inside of the Columbus module. He will be spending the bulk of his day working on this and then doing some cleanup and stow activities once he's completed those. And then finally, NASA astronaut Don Pettit is working again with the capillary flow experiment. These are a suite of different fluid experiments on board the station that investigate capillary flows of fluids through various containers. This research is hoping to improve current models used here on the ground that are used by designers of different low-gravity fluid systems, most commonly used in spacecraft, and will have vast future implications. He will also be taking some samples for the Human Research Facility, collecting biological samples such as crew urine that helps to research again the microgravity environment on board the station and its effects on the human body over extended periods of time. After all this, the crew will have a daily planning conference at the end of the day where they'll recap everything before moving into their scheduled sleep period of 3:30 p.m. Central Time.